Hey folks, today's project is going to be a red, white, and blue address sign. It's going to be for a customer of mine that's bought my flags, and she wants it to put on top of the flag, make it match and everything. So I got this piece of scrap pine here, and I also dug out some old barn wood that I had. This is oak. I'm going to frame it out in that. So to get started, I'm going to head over to the table saw and do some ripping. Alright, I set the fence at 6 inches, so I'm going to start ripping this. Listen guys, I'm getting a little fancier here. I got a remote control for my camera now. I really like it. It's cool. I can turn it on and off with it. Sweet. Alright, here we go. Watch this. Alright, now I'm going to mark this at 16 inches. And we're going to do a little cross cut on it here with the old radial arm saw. There we go, 16 inches. Okay, so what I'm going to want to do here is I'm going to want blue in the middle, and I'm going to want red, and white, all with 1.5 inch stripes. So I'm going to cut me some dados every 1.5 inch for the stripes. But I don't want them going across the numbers here, so I'm going to have a pretty funky time trying to figure out how to do this, but stay tuned and we'll figure it out. Okay, for the top and bottom stripe, I'm going to set my blade at 1.5 inches, and I'm going to lower it down so that it just barely puts a little dado in there. I don't want too deep. It's probably sticking up about 1/8 of an inch right there, and that'll be good enough. Here we go. Turn the board around. There we go. There's our first bottom stripe and the top stripe. Shut you off with my fancy shut off thing here. So now what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to center my address right in the center of these two lines, the top and bottom. And that's 5 5/16 each way. Now what I want to do, I don't want my stripes going through, so I'm going to put a little dado going this way. I'm probably going to try that on my radial arm saw. So let's see how we can do that. Oops. Oh. Okay guys, we're going to do this one together. I clamp this down in here. I put this safety board on here so don't kick out, because I'm going to have to lower this down by hand. I'm not going to be able to hold it. So let's see what happens, okay? It's going to be a little bit crazy. Lowering it down. That's good right there. I'm going to back it up to that line. Can you see it? Alright, now I'm going to go forward. Ah, that's perfect. I like that. Okay, I'm going to raise it back up. Can you see that? Let's see if I can loosen this up for you. There we go. Now that line, that's going to help my colors from not bleeding. Now I got to put the other one over here, and the address will be right in the middle. Okay, here we go again. Lowering it down. Amount as the other side. Alright, going forward. I'm going to lower it down just a little bit more. Okay. Raise it back up. There we go. Our address will be right in here. Okay, perfect. I'm happy so far. Okay, so basically now I'm doing the same thing. I don't want to cut into the middle section here. I want my stripes red, white, red, white. So I'm going to come out here, I'm going to lower my saw down a little bit and cut right into this cross cut here. Find my right depth. That matches these right here. Alright, here we go. That looks great. I'm going to go just a little deeper on that though. There we go. Now that matches better. Alright, perfect. I'm going to turn the board around, do the same thing to the other side. Alright guys, I'm going to hit this with some 120 paper. That'll be good enough for this. Because it is an outside sign and everything. It's going to be sealed fine, it's going to look good, and I want it to have a rustic look to it. So here I go. Alright, we got her sanded down. Now you know what I think we ought to do? I think we ought to burn this a little bit. What do you think? Yeah, let's do that. Let's burn it. Alright, let's put some burn on it. How I do my flags, I've been using a bigger torch. This is a small little project here, so I don't want to get the big torch out and everything. Like I said, doing the flags, the amount of burn you put on it is up to you. It's about what I like right here. You can go darker if you want, or lighter. I like that. It's looking good. Now I think where my dados are, I'm going to go with a little darker burn over the dados. Just like that. Just like that. Up, down. And the middle one. Yeah, that looks good. A little darker on the bottom there. Now I'm going to do the edges. Get all the edges a little bit. You're not going to see the edges because it's going to be framed in, but I want to get where I chamfered it with my sandpaper a little bit. Just like that. And just like that. Alright, I'll do the other two sides. Alright, I'm going to be using my Crimson Stain by Minwax. There it is right there. It's crimson. They'll mix this for you. And as you watch my videos before, you know I love my Gen foam brushes. So, if you're not going to make a frame on your sign, I suggest you do all the sides like this. You don't really have to if you're making a frame. But, what the hell, I'll do it anyway. Do that. And I taped it up just to be sure, even with the dados, I just don't want it bleeding through or touching where it's not supposed to touch that stain. So put it on a little bit heavy. And I don't leave it sit very long before I wipe it off. I'll probably wipe it off as soon as I set my brush down, actually. I'm going to do the edges. Even though I'm framing it out. Why not, right? Just like that. Okay. Now these pieces right here are also going to be red. I'm trying to also not to get it in the dados. I like my dados to stay white. That's other side. Get the edges. Just like that. I can see that I did get some in the dado there, but I think that will be all right in the long run. All right, just take a rag once you get on there. Give it a nice wipe. I'm probably going to take a piece of sandpaper before I'm done and sand it out. I got in that dado right there a little bit. I don't like that. Or I might even reset it up on the saw and cut it a little deeper. Whatever, I'll make it work. That's what we do as woodworkers, right? We make things work. Okay, now I'm going to pull the tape off, and I'm going to put blue where I'm going to put the address, which will be right in here. All right. Okay, I let the red dry a little bit before I tape this up again, and now I'm going to be using same stuff. It's navy blue this time from Minwax. Again, they'll mix this up for you at Lowe's or wherever. So let's put a little bit of that on. And I did recut the dado a little bit to get the stain out of it. Be a little more careful on this one. The blue is also very heavy stain. So I want to get that off too as soon as I can, so it doesn't get too dark. All right, see that? Take your rag, just wipe it off. There we go. That looks pretty cool. Let's take the tape off, see what we got. There we go. So there's our red, white, and blue address sign. And you can use bigger numbers if you want on here, but you're going to have to kind of calculate how big your blue area is going to be if you use bigger numbers. So I'm going to let this dry a little bit more. Then I'll etch my numbers out in there. I use a Dremel tool to do that. Alright. Okay, so I bought these stencils. They come from Menards. They come in a pack like this. They have all the alphabet and everything in them. So I'm going to tape it down with some tape. I'm going to trace them out, and then I'm going to start carving them out with my Dremel. I like using a pen more than a pencil because I can push down harder and it leaves a better outline for when I carve them out. Okay, I'm using my Dremel now to go around the outlines. And I'm using this, you can see that it's a 106 bit. I've got my Dremel tool, I go around the outlines with it, and then I go to a bigger, I believe it's a 105. I've already traced the lines. You probably can't see them on camera, but I do have ink lines on there. The main thing is keep your hands comfortable and keep them placed in one place so you're not moving all over the board. I'm always placing the board so that my hand's the most comfortable position. There you go. Now I'm going to put my 105 in, and I'm going to go back and forth with the grain on it this way, and I'm going to hollow them all out. A lot of people say, why don't you buy a CNC machine and be a lot easier for you, but I like doing it by hand. To me, it's more handcrafted that way. All right. Okay, with the 105, I just go back and forth with the grain. Just like that. Try to keep the same amount of pressure on it the whole time. And then knock your little burrs off just like that. There you have it. Now I sure hope I put the right sequence for my customer. Alright, now what I got to do is figure out how I'm going to frame it out with that piece of old barnwood I dug out. Okay, so I got this barnwood here. You can see it's pretty nasty looking, but when you sand this down and shit, it's going to look really cool. So it's about 5/8 on this end, and if I go all the way down to the other end, it's almost 1 inch. So I'm going to put this on the table saw. I'm going to rip it all down so it's 5/8 all the way. Then what I have to figure out what I want to do is, do I want to miter it, or do I want to leave it square and make it look pretty rustic? I kind of like the rustic look, so that just might be the route we go. Here we go, 5/8 all the way along. Okay, you can see what it looks like. I got it at 5/8. You can see the other side of the oak. I'm going to hit this Rheolite with 180, I believe I got on there. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, you can see that's about the look I want right there. If you look, you can actually see the old saw marks on there. Let me get it up. There you go. And that's what I want to see on there. So I'm going to do the rest of it, sand it down, and then I think I will miter it. Okay. Okay, I sanded it down. That's what I like about barnwood. Look at that. If you look, you can see the red that they had stained it before. I don't know if it's milk paint or how they used it. I like it. You can see some beetle holes in it. That's pretty cool. So that'll look good all framed out in there. Then I'm going to put some spray varnish on there, probably Minwax Helmsman. Alright. Alright guys, let's start out with our 45s. First we're going to start here. I'm going to mark my 45 right there. Take it over to the chop saw and give her a cut. Okay, I've got my miters cut on the top piece. I'm going to take some Titebond here, put some glue on it. I'm going to not put the glue on too heavy though. I'm going to put the most distressed part of the wood sticking out. You can see right in here. Looks pretty cool right in here. An old saw cut. That looks pretty cool. So we're going to do that. Let's put it up there. Make sure your miter's in the right position. And I got 1¼ inch 18 gauge brads. Put one in here. Even it up in the back. And put one in the middle. And that'll be enough with the tight bond and all. So that's going to look pretty cool for a frame. I'm going to continue framing out the rest of it, and then we'll show you what we got. Okay, let's put our final piece on here. A little bit of glue. Get a little bit on your miter. Not a lot. You don't want it squeezing out in the front. I always hate glue squeeze out. There you go. It's looking really cool. I like it a lot. I think my customer will like it. This is a freebie for her. She's my favorite. Patriotic customer. She's bought my flags, crosses, all that stuff. You can check it all out on my YouTube channel. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up. How's that look? That looks pretty dang good, don't it? I'm going to put a couple coats of varnish on it, and I'm going to put some heavy duty D-rings in the back, stamp my name in it, and it should be done. So keep on watching and we'll finish this thing up. Thank you a lot. Okay, now you might ask, how do I heat my branding iron up? Well, I do it just like this. Gotta make sure the wife's not home when you do this. Just set that on there like that, and I'll let it sit there for about 3 minutes, and then we'll head out in the garage and brand my piece. Alright guys, here we go. And we're going to brand our piece. Hope I got it hot enough. There we go. Alright, excellent. Okay, I'm going to do this with 3 coats of the Helmsman. It's outdoor spar varnish, and it's gloss. I'm going to hit the back side. Alright, the back side, just like that. I'm going to do the same with the front side. I'm going to give it 3 coats, and I'm going to be sanding with 220 between each coat. Now with this Minwax, it's best to leave it set up for approximately an hour and a half before you do your light sand with 220. So by the end of the night, I should have all 3 coats on it. If I can stay up that late. Alright. Alright guys, here's our sign so far. Got 3 coats of varnish on it. Looks pretty good. Next step we're going to do, I'm going to put D-rings on the back and put one here and one here. They should look pretty good. They should hang pretty good. Last step. So here's the D-rings I'm using. I get these online. You get a whole package of them. They come with the screws and everything. There's 50 in a pack. It's a pretty good deal. That's the best way to buy them. If you try to buy them at a hardware store, you're going to be paying big bucks for them. For all you got to pay is a little bucks. Okay, what I'm going to do is measure over 3 inches on each side and mark it. And then I'm just going to go from each side and do that. Then I'm going to line my D-ring up with the top of my frame. I know that's going to be level when she hangs it up on each side. Okay, with your screws, you don't have to really do any pre-drilling on this pine. These screws that come with them just screw right in the pine nice and easy. Alright. Okay, I got all of them in. They're all screwed down. Alright, let's see what the finished product looks like now. Alright guys, here's our finished product. It's looking good. I will tell you, I usually don't have plans for anything I make. I just wing it. And I'll tell you what, I enjoy that. Unless I'm building a boat, then yes, I do get some blueprints for it. But that looks awesome. I had a good time making it. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. Thank you much. See you on my next project.